I went to law school instead for no reason whatsoever, and then wound up at a law firm, and a couple years into it started reading about these psilocybin studies coming out of Hopkins and NYU, and that amazing statistic that 2/3 of the participants were describing it as one of the most amazing experiences of their lives. And it hit me that there was something there, because the testimony coming out of Hopkins and NYU in a very clinical setting immediately reminded me of what I heard about Eleusis. And for those who don't know what Eleusis is, it's essentially the spiritual capital of the ancient world. It was where the best and brightest of Athens and Rome went to essentially meet a goddess in the flesh and have this mind-blowing visionary experience. So before Jerusalem, before Rome, before Mecca, there was Eleusis, and for some reason we're not taught about this in our high school mythology or Western civ classes. But it was there that Plato, Cicero, Marcus Aurelius all went to drink a magical potion and, in their words, have this vision, what Plato calls a blessed sight and vision, the holiest of mysteries, in which they claim to have a direct encounter with the goddess and completely eradicate their fear of death. It was very similar to what the volunteers are saying with their single experience of psilocybin.
Now, with Eleusis, how much history do we have? How much recorded history that documents these rituals, and is there any that describes the actual contents of this mixture?
No, there isn't much. I mean, I say Eleusis is like the Fight Club of the ancient world. You know, the first rule about Eleusis is you don't talk about Eleusis. You know, all we have is this fragmentary testimony, again, from Plato, Pindar, Sophocles, and others. They do talk about a vision that's almost universal, and they almost universally talk about this once-in-a-lifetime transformative event where they become initiates, and only they properly have life after death, because at the time, the Greeks didn't really look forward to the afterlife. In fact, there was no afterlife. You just disappear into Hades to do God knows what. But people walk away from Eleusis saying that they'd found salvation. And we don't know why or how. We know this potion is involved. We know they make this pilgrimage 13 miles from Athens to Eleusis to drink this potion. We know they prepare for months, if not years, before it, and they're forever changed afterwards. But we have very little hard data to actually look into it. And so in 1978, this trio of renegades, Gordon Wasson, Albert Hofmann, who discovered LSD, and Carl Ruck, who was then the chair of the classics department at Boston University, they put out this book, The Road to Eleusis, claiming they'd found the secret after 2,000 years of what they claimed is that this potion was actually spiked with ergot, which is that naturally occurring fungus from which you can synthesize LSD. And in fact, it's how he synthesized LSD by accident in 1938 with cultures of ergot. The question is, does it really produce the kind of vision, the visionary experiences that people have on psilocybin, LSD, mescaline, and others? According to Albert Hofmann, absolutely. So as a matter of fact, I went into the Harvard archives where Wasson's papers are kept to this day in the botany libraries. And I found a letter that Albert wrote Gordon, his co-author, in 1976, saying that Albert had self-experimented with ergonovine, which is one of these alkaloids in ergot, and he claimed in 1976 it was 5 to 10 times more potent than psilocybin.